Ashley Jones for the state.
Nelson Skinner for the defense, Your Honor.
And are you Ms. Shrunk?
The judge isn't having it, calling this whole thing a bunch of nonsense. You know things are going south when the courtroom sarcasm kicks in before the case even gets going. But wait, is it really nonsense? Or just a messy legal misunderstanding? Let's dig in.
I'm Miss Burns now, but yes, Your Honor.
Oh, I'm sorry?
I'm Miss Burns now, but it was previous.
All right, it says Lacy Burns Shrunk. Is that you?
Yes.
All right, defense, you filed a motion requesting a bond?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And state you're ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, defense, do you have any witnesses?
I do. I would like to call Diane England. And
All right, Diane England, if you'll come forward, please.
Over here.
All right, and
Mayberry.
just one at a time.
Oh,
And to the clerk?
Yeah.
I don't have the thing on Shrunk.
Strong.
Yes, the docket statement. All right, can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Smooth.
You can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Diane England.
All right, defense, you may proceed.
Here's a twist. The defendant's name changed, and the judge immediately clocks it. This may seem small, but name confusion in court can trigger legal hiccups, especially when protective orders and prior records are involved. Always double-check the paperwork. Folks?
Ms. England, you know Lacy Burns Shrunk, don't you?
Yes, sir.
How's that?
She's my daughter.
She's your daughter? Where was she brought up at?
In San Antonio.
Here in San Antonio?
Yes.
Is that where you were brought up at?
Yes, actually in Adkins, right outside San Antonio.
Adkins? That's still in Bexar County.
Yes, sir.
And you have family members who were here before you? Your parents? Or your grandparents? Were they living here in Bexar County as well?
Yes, sir. All of my family's from here.
For how many generations back have y'all?
Oh, since my great-great-grandfather came from Germany, I guess.
Has Lacy Shrunk ever, she's been residing here all her life?
Yes, sir.
Has she ever indicated a desire to leave Bexar County?
Never.
Has she's never threatened to move or
No,
even
sir.
consider it?
No, sir.
Okay.
All right, let's go off the record for a moment. So in the defense motion, he says that she's accused of contacting the complainant about returning the children's coats for cooling weather when he refused to communicate through a third party. Is that what this case is about?
It is.
Yes, sir.
All right, so here's the thing. Step back for a moment. Oh, no, just have a seat.
Oh.
Also, are we proceeding on a violation of protective order for somebody texting somebody to say, please return the children's coats because the weather's getting cold?
That's what their motion amounts to.
Well, no. I mean, I just want to know, is that the allegations?
Yeah.
Yes, so there was a protective order that was agreed to in late August of 2022. The defendant then called the complainant several times, and then the last violation is the text about the coats. I will say that this case is just newly indicted, so I have not had a chance to review or talk with the complainant yet, and so we're just
All right, so is there any objection to a PR bond?
So let me get this straight. A mother texted her ex about returning the kids' coats, ... and now she's facing jail over it. Sounds wild, but when a protective order is in place, even a hey, its cold message becomes a legal landmine. What do you think? Overreach or justified?
Well, I really can't do a PR bond legally.
and that's the issue.
I was going to ask you to do that, Your Honor.
Legally,
Illegally.
So
Oh, no. I will tell you this, illegally, I'm not allowed to do that, but if I could do it, I would grant your client a PR bond. This appears to be a bunch of nonsense to the court.
I think I have maybe $100 cash, Your Honor. Could we do a $100 cash bond?
No, I mean, I can't accept cash here. What are we doing? No.
Take credit cards?
So, no. So what are you asking for a bond?
Your Honor, the state's asking for a $3,500 bond and a no contact order.
All right, so come forward, please. We're back on the record. State, do you have any concerns for the complainant's safety?
At this time, Your Honor, the state has not been able to make contact with the complainant, and so I can't say from the last conversation we had, yes, he was concerned for his safety. That was, however, back in February of 2023.
All right, so can somebody tell me, what is the basis for the protective order? What's the underlying facts for the protective order, allegedly?
Allegedly, there were a couple of assaults where this defendant is alleged to have committed against the complainant, as well as, I'm not sure the relation of the second victim, but both of those cases were dismissed. However, it seems like there was a tumultuous divorce, and the agreed protective order was the result of those
Right, and then I have a previous, in the defense's motion, he says there was a previous jury trial
That was out of a different county for a violation of a protective order.
against this complainant. All right, and it was a not guilty verdict.
It was a not guilty verdict.
All right, so this is what the court is going to do. I'm going to set your bond at $3,500. I'm going to place you on GPS. They'll do it at the jail. I'll ask that the fees be waived. You are not to have contact with the complainant. Do you understand? You're not to text him or her. You're not to call them. No contact whatsoever. And with regards to the children's court, this sounds silly to the court, but guess what? I have no control over that, right? So you need to make sure it's done through a third party. If he doesn't pick up with the third party, I'm sorry, you are going to have to buy extra coats for the children. Do you understand?
The judge says it sounds silly, and let's be honest, it kind of does, but his hands are tied. Legally, no contact means no contact, even if it's about tiny jackets and freezing temperatures. Wild how co-parenting can become courtroom chaos.
I don't know why adults can't be adults when it's concerning children, but sometimes they can't. That's when the courts step in. So I'm setting your bond at $3,500. If legally I could give you a PR bond, I would, but I can't. And I don't know the entirety of the facts of this case. I'm just going by what the attorneys are telling me. So that's why I'm setting the bond at $3,500. I don't know about the previous cases involving this complainant, but it's as much for your protection as it is for the complainant, so no one will accuse you of anything. Now, with regards to the GPS, can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, if you could state your name for the record.
Lacy Burns.
All right, do you have employment?
Yes, sir.
All right, what is your work schedule?
7 to 30.
All right, so this is what I'm going to do with GPS. With regards to the GPS, I'm going to do a tracking. They're going to put in the motion the address and the locations where you're not allowed to be. If you violate the GPS, what's going to end up happening is they're going to come back to me with the violation of the GPS.
Can I state something?
Sure.
When this incident first happened and the texting, he turned me in on that then. And they put me on a GPS and I wore it for 6 months and I have not had any contact with it in over 3 years.
So are you still on GPS?
No.
She has had no contact with him for 3 years, and
6 months of GPS, no contact in over 3 years. And still, boom, she's back in court for one text. The legal system doesn't forget, and GPS isn't just a tracker, it's a statement. We're watching.
for the 6 months she was on that GPS device previously. And the problem with that, from her perspective, is if the court orders a GPS, the last time the court ordered a GPS on her, she had to sit in jail for 6 days before they got
No, they
it
don't
on.
have 6 days here. They have a GPS at the jail. They'll put it on her. Here's the thing. I'm trying to save you money. If, however, you want to pay for it for yourself, you can pay for it for yourself. But if you want the free GPS, it'll have to be done at the jail, and they'll have it done. If we're able to get you back at the jail quickly, they'll have it done at the latest tomorrow.
And you had to go to work, what time tomorrow?
7:30.
At 7:30 in the morning.
All right.
Is that right? 7:30 in the morning?
Yes.
If nobody has any objection, I'll call the jail to see if they can make sure that she has the GPS placed on her tonight.
No objection.
Thank you, Your Honor. I appreciate that.
All right, so the bond is going to be set at $3,500. And if you all can put in the motion the locations and the names of the people she's not to have any contact with. So I'm telling you this, and I want you to hear me clearly. You're not to call this person, text this person, or anything. If you do any of that, regardless, it's a violation of a protective order. Do you understand?
Yes,
And it's a violation of my order. And then you're going to come back here because somebody's going to give me a pretrial violation, and I'm going to sign it if it appears to be in order. Do you understand?
yes.
All right. I'll write it on here. All right, that will be all. And Ms. Ferguson, we need a date for this, a 30-day reset, please.
You just have to retire.
Hang on a second. August 4th.
Here's the thing. You can do a jury trial, you can do a bench trial. If you do a bench trial and come to me, what's going to end up happening is if the state proves their case beyond a reasonable doubt, I'm going to find you guilty. If they don't, I'm going to find you not guilty. And let me explain something to you.
Here's your crash course in courtroom reality. Even if the other person refuses third-party exchanges, you still can't break the order. The judge makes it clear: follow the rules or face the music. No excuses, no gray area. This isn't family drama, it's felony territory.
You can come to me. I'm going to keep an open mind. But what I can tell you, if there's a protective order in place that says you're not to have contact with him, then you're not to have contact with him. It doesn't matter what it is. You understand? So you can ask your attorney if it's best for you to have a jury trial or a bench trial. If the state proves their case beyond a reasonable doubt, so for a violation of protective order, if they prove to me that there was a protective order in place and it's a legal protective order, right? And that you violated, I'm going to follow the law. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
You can't do a bench trial nullification with the court. You understand? And your attorney will explain that to you. So you want a jury trial?
Yes.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, if you all confer and get a jury trial date, please.
Yes, sir.